Hello guys, and welcome to our first webinar in CST titled CST Introduction to the Tools Needed to Build Your Project. Okay, as you see from the first image, welcome to our CST
Hello guys,
and welcome to our first webinar in CST. Learn the tools needed and CST what we need to create a project and how we can build software. Your project. Let me first define myself. Okay. I am, as you see from the first image, welcome to our engineer.
CST.
I work
Hello
guys,
and
welcome to our first webinar. As a freelance for different projects, we will CST learn the tools needed in antenna design. And my friend Sarosh Ahmad from Pakistan, who worked with me in this webinar and different topics. Anyway, in this webinar, we will start by CST as a documentation, as you see, and through the documentation, I will go to CST and show you how we can work with it. So it's not only a presentation, as you see in the slides only. No, we will go through CST and see different things on the software and build real time with the software. So what's CST? It's computer simulation technology, founded in 1992 with 170 employees. Worldwide distribution network focused on 3D EM simulation. You have different techniques in CST or different softwares built in with CST, like CST Design Studio, CST Electromagnetic Studio, CST Practical Studio, and Multiphysics, etc. Okay, it's a worldwide. You can find in Europe, in America, in China, India, and different countries. As you see here, it's an amazing software. Everything related to electromagnetic will be designed by CST. So if you want, you can find the documentation in CST. When you install CST software, you will install directly different documentation for different application in it, like CST cable, CST design, etc. Okay, so this is documentation installed in CST. In CST, you have different tutorials and different examples, so you can download a tutorial or example about design, not only antenna design, maybe a circuit, maybe a waveguide, maybe a filter. So you have a lot of examples, as you see here, like a telephone and the human body or a head. And you can go through online help me maybe in CST directly, or you can go to committee or contact the CST support to have or to buy maybe some component or to ask them about different things. And sometimes you will find the help when you build an object or when you work with the transient solver directly. When I go to the software, or when you open the software as the first time, you will see this page. Maybe you will have this project, maybe not. This project, when you create a template for a project, it will be here. The template will open here because you created it before. Or you can delete the unpinned project. So I can delete it, okay? And here you see the models and tools related to CST, like Antenna Magus, which have a lot of antenna design in it, or different designs related to antenna. Okay, you have CST filter design, maybe you installed these softwares, maybe not. IDEM, Spark 3D, etc. Okay, and in the left you have these tools like save as, open a folder, or new and recent, like here, new project, and component library. As I told you before, you can install a components here when you see an examples or tutorials related to CST. Some of them will be free, and maybe you will ask for a design and you pay for it. Okay, and here you have the help documentation, as you see in the slides, and you have options. Maybe you want to change the settings, maybe the color, maybe you open CST for the first time and you see the quick start guide, so maybe you want to open it again. So I can click it here or not, depends on you and what you want to see. Okay, and maybe you want to change the path or to see the updates and add the ribbon, customize the ribbon, etc. Okay, so you have different settings here, and you can work on it and see the lines of your design. What I have here as maybe FS3D, Spark 3D, maybe antenna maggots, it's not work with you, so you should see if the lenses work with antenna design or antenna maggots and different software related to CST. Okay, so let us start. New and recent. Here I can choose new project. So let me create a new project and see how we can create, or what is the steps in this way. Firstly, we have microwave and RF and optical. Okay, so in this one I have antenna, which is we work here a lot, okay, because I am an antenna designer, so I work here a lot. But CST not for antenna only. For microwave and RF or optical, I have antenna, circuits and components, radar cross-section, biomedical applications, optical application, and periodic structure. We have EDA, electronics, signal integrity analysis. So firstly, you say, what's my topic? What's the domain I am working, late, okay? You will choose your working design. Maybe you have design rule check or narrowband model extractions, okay? EMC and EMI, radiation emission, conducted emission, PCB rule checking. So depending on this, you will choose, okay? Beam optics, space applications, and we have statics or low frequency to choose magnetic design, maybe, or sensors, okay? So depending on the design, you will choose your way of work, okay? Let me here choose antenna and press next. In antenna, we have different categories. Maybe I want to design a waveguide, like horn or cone antenna, or a planar antenna like patch, slots, etc. Or maybe wire like dipole, or folded dipole antenna, or any type of wires antenna like helix, or any type, okay? Or maybe phased array and unit cell. Maybe mobile phone integrated, maybe reflector, maybe electric resonator, or RFID tag. So depending on the application, I will choose. Because CST will build the template of your work depending on the object you want, or depending on the environment you want to create, okay? So when I want to create a patch, let me choose planar, not wire, okay? I will choose patch antenna. Here we have different type of simulation for this kind of antenna. You have time domain, frequency domain, and multi-layer. So depending on the results you want, maybe you want a time dependent, frequency dependent, you want a specific frequency to calculate, or you want a wideband or multiband antenna. So depending on the results you want, you will choose your solver, okay? So not this is the way. Maybe I will want to create a radar cross-section, press next. You see here, monostatics, B-statics, time signal radar. So depending on the project you want, okay, depending on the project you want, you will choose the environment or the tools needed, okay? Let me create here antenna next. Patch, and press next, and I want to choose time domain. Okay, here we have different properties like dimensions, frequency, time, temperature, voltage, current, etc. Okay, so maybe the dimensions of your project will be in centimeter or a meter, okay, micrometer. I don't know. Depending on it, you will choose your dimensions, okay? So if all the data in centimeter, don't choose millimeter and multiply it or divide it, okay? Choose the units you write. If it's centimeter, choose centimeter. If it's millimeter, choose millimeter, okay? And the frequency also, maybe the frequency is terahertz or kilohertz. So depending on the frequency, choose it. Like gigahertz here, or the time also, and the temperature, okay? So depending on your project, choose the units. Next. Here is the frequency mean and the frequency max. Hopefully we can change all these parameters in CST also. But from my experience, please put it directly from here. Let your environment created work fine from the beginning. Okay, didn't change it from CST. Put it here and let from here work. Okay. For example, I choose 2 giga to 3 giga or 4 giga. Okay. And here we have a monitors. In simulation, we will see later on, we will go to simulation and see a monitor. In monitor, we can request the result we want. Maybe I want the E field, maybe I want to see the H field, the far field, the power flow, and power loss. Or maybe I don't know, I need all of them, I need only the far field. So I will choose the frequency, 2.5, semicolon. In the semicolon, you see, I can add another frequency I want. So the separation between them, as you see in the example, is the semicolon, okay? Or I want a single frequency. So depending on me, maybe I want 10 frequency, maybe 1, okay? So the separation will be a semicolon. Next. You see here, antenna planner, the template name. So this will appear here. Dimensions, millimeter, frequency gigahertz. The solver is time domain solver. You see it's printed microstrip, PFA, slot, spiral. It's kind of planar antenna, okay? When I press finish, they will go on and create my template. Okay, so to create your template, if you go to file, I think you will see antenna planner. Okay, the template I created, it's appeared here. So next time when I open CST, I will see this. Maybe if I want to create the same environment for a new design, I can press it and go on directly. Okay. Let me wait and start. Okay, when you open CST, you see it's untitled 0. You can change the name when you press save, but till now the project is created. And I can go through them step by step. Let me go to PDF and see what's in it. The common user interface, this is the navigation tree. We will go through it in CST directly. You have the menu bar, you have the primary window and the toolbar. This is the message window when you start to create a parameters for the design. Okay? Want to see the navigation tree, the parameter list, or you want to undo this. Okay? We have here different tools or shortcut to use in CST. No need for them all, but we can use it. Like rotation, you can press Control. In plane rotation, you press Shift. Control Shift, you panning the screen or the window. You can press Space Bar to reset view to structure. Control F to reset view. Shift plus Space Bar at the same time to zoom into selected shape. And mouse wheel dynamic zoom to mouse pointer. Okay. Before I go to the shapes, let me go on through CST. And let me know what is this, what I can see here. Okay, this is your window. When I press 5, I can change the coordinate of X, Y, Z. Maybe when I play, you see, I change the coordinate. But when I start, always I press 5 to see it in front of me. Okay, the Z will go through me. Anyway, this is the navigation tree. This is the tree, the folder or the object I have, the group, the materials I choose. Here we have pack and vacuum. Pack, it's perfect electric conductor, which means sigma is infinity. Faces, when I create faces, will appear here. Curves, WCS, which means the coordinates when I have specific coordinates. Wire, voxel data, when I want to create a human, like blood materials, etc. Dimensions, when I see the dimensions, here we have views. Anyway, I will go through them step by step. The excitation signal, this is the signal I have. Okay. It takes few times because I open different software now. This is the signal. I can change it. Let me go through it later on. The field monitor, because as you remember, I request the far field at 2.5 gigahertz frequency. We can add different things to field monitor. We will see it later on. We have the mesh, the control, and this is files for the results. When I start the simulation, after I finish my design, we will have here 1D result, 2D, 3D result, far field, and tables. Okay, so for units, maybe I want to change the units. Okay, I will start with millimeter for dimensions, temperature, frequency, and time. Maybe I want to change it, so I can change it and press OK. Okay, so we can change it. The simulation project, you can see all blocks as 3D model, all blocks as schematic model, and you can change it here. Okay, you have type of solvers. Maybe you want time domain, frequency domain, and different type of solvers here. Okay. And if you choose this type of solver, maybe you want to change here no signal. I will add, maybe show you how to change the settings in the solver. And after that, we can start the simulation directly by start simulation or from the solver when pressing stars. We have optimizer. Maybe I want to optimize the design. I change different things. Maybe I want to add a parameter here and give him the maximum, the minimum and max, the initial and current and best. Okay, so this will be calculated later on, but we can goals. What is my target? Maybe I want S11 less than 20, so I put maybe the width from 10 to 15 millimeter and let the simulation start, and they give me the best S11, for example, for this design. Okay. And the parameter sweep tells it that this parameter will vary from this number to this number. Okay, we have here the mesh view. If I want to see the project as a mesh view, as you see, and the global properties, maybe I will want to change the cells per wavelength. So maybe I want to create more meshes in the design, so I change it per wavelength. Okay, so here we have different settings we can work on. Maybe I want to specialize and change different things on it, or maybe I want to simplify the models and change this. Okay, so usually I don't work with mesh. If I have problem, I work, but usually not. Okay, so depending on your problem. Anyway, the edit properties, the history list, what I did till now nothing. But if I create a object or I create a models as a 2D or 3D models, it will appear here. Okay, or add ports, etc. So everything will appear here and I can change it. We have a parameters. We have the problem type, high frequency, optical cable, low frequency, so we can change it. And we have a calculator. Maybe I want to write an expression and press calculate to get the and see what is calculator for. Okay. And we have macros. In macros we have different things or a lot of things, because in macros we can edit macro. We can write a VBA code to work with CST. Import it or edit or move or delete a VBA macro code. In Excel, I can write a VBA code, and here also I can write a VBA code. So we can write a code in CST. Okay, maybe you want to design a shape via your code. Okay, so we can do it. Here we have calculate. So maybe I want to calculate something. Maybe I want to calculate the analytical line impedance. So I press it, and I will choose the coax, strip line, differential strip line. I can choose anything, okay, and calculate it directly. I can write here, for example, 2.1, and here 4.353, for example, and here for the epsilon r 2.1. It's not depending on the frequency, and press calculate. You see, you calculate the impedance. Maybe you want to change this to go an impedance. Okay, change the impedance. You want 50 ohm, you will play with this 1.7, for example, to got impedance close to 50. Okay, we want 50, so we can choose everything we want. Okay, anyway, this is type of impedance calculation. Let me press X or exit. we have constructed some existing examples like voxel statics, coils like helical antenna, or like port to a discrete phase port. You will see it later on in the documentation. Discrete port with lumped element, multiple discrete port. We have filters. I can construct a bandpass filter. We have parts, vias, etc. Okay, we have a lot of things here. Maybe materials, we want to create coil, model material. Maybe I want to, here we have it, to export an image, PowerPoint presentation, documentation. So not only one thing, it's a lot of things here. Okay, so we can find a lot of things here, like a solver, the result, to import result, use spice or filter analysis, parameters. We have materials. We want to create, import CSV data from refractive index. So maybe you have a material as an Excel file and you want to open it. Maybe you want to create a graphene material for optical appearance. Okay, so we can do a lot of things using macros. I don't know, or I don't want to go through all of them because it takes 1 hour only for this macros. Okay, so let me continue. Here it's the modeling, and we will finish it. Here is the modeling. In modeling, we have import export. I can import 3D or 2D object, or I can export it as a 3D or 2D. Like I want to export the PCB or the Gerber file or the XF file, I can export it. Or I want to import shape from SolidWorks, from AutoCAD, any shape from different software, as you see. Okay, a lot of softwares. But here the version will depend. Okay, this is the problem with CST. In CST, I can open an old file if I have a newer version, but if I have a version which is from 2015, I cannot open a file on 2019. Okay, this is one of the problem. We can solve it by simple trick. We can export the file. Okay, I can export the file and put, instead of 2019, a old version. Okay, so when I do it, I can open this version in my old CST. Okay, this is one of the trick. Okay guys, so I can export or import any object I want. I can change the background I'm working on, the material of background. Maybe I want this to be a water, so I can change it, or maybe a wood, so I can change it. Okay, the space of working, and here change different things on it. Maybe I want to see the materials. It's a CST library, maybe Rogers, RT Duroid 5880. Okay, we have a lot of materials here. Maybe I want to see if the wood exists here. Okay, it exists, so I can search about it or search one by one. Okay guys, maybe I want to create a new material, so I add to library a new material, or from here new materials, and you can add a new material and give the new material properties. So maybe I will give a specific color, specific epsilon name, and all the properties like conductivity, dispersion, thermal mechanics, and density. Okay, when you create it, the material will be added directly to the material. So when you load the material or create a new one, it will directly open in this folder. Okay, materials folder. Then I can go with the shape. As you see in the here in the file, we have different shape like cylinder, sphere, break, elliptical cylinder, cone, torus, rotation, and extrusion. So let me go step by step from here. Here we have to pick edge. So first I will create the shape. Then we will go to the tricks in CST to pick a points or edge points or middle point or the center of the face, or points in the circle or the center of the circle, and a lot of tricks in CST. This will help us a lot. Okay, so let me, as you see from this documentation, we have different things. We're working with coordinate to change the coordinate, the 0, 0, 0 coordinate to a specific place. So I will go all through them by CST. Okay, And also we have the Boolean operation like add, subtract, intersect, and divide. Okay, so let me go through it also. And finally, we have the curve modeling tools to build 2D shape, like create a circle or create a rectangle or a line, or maybe I want to write an equation, and from the equation I can get the shape. After getting the shape, I can extrude the shape to be a 2D shape or 3D shape. Okay, so we have a lot of techniques in CST. I will go through them step by step. Okay, like here we can create a modeling shape by equation. You see, we add equations and we got the shape. So let me see and go with the models I have. So firstly, I can create a box. Maybe I will create a box directly here. I give him the weight and height and the length also. So I have the properties of this. Maybe I want to change the material or the component. Maybe I have a new component or in component 1 in this folder. So I can create it directly. You see? Component 1, solid 1. If I want, I can go and change the properties. Press OK. You see? I change it. But here I should go step by step to it. This is not work. Because when I want to change any parameter in this, I will go through it and change it. But if I put it as variable D, press OK, D will be minus 100. Okay, before it's minus, so it's not a big problem. So here in parameter list, if you see, I create a new variable which is D. Maybe I want to change D to 100. Press in the figure, you see, to update the parameter, press F7. Some of you, F7 not work with him. So for that, go to home, press parameter update, parametric update. If F7 not work, if it's work, press it directly and it will work, okay? So we have two options. Maybe go to home and press parameter update, or as you see here, parametric update, or press F7, okay? And you can directly see it. Another way, we can press this, press S to show dialog box. I didn't create it, okay? Press S, you have, yes, C. I can put it as name. I can put any name here and put maybe dimensions like minus WW, minus LT as a thickness, and change the material, load from material. I will put it as aluminum, load, to show you how it's worked, okay? Let me press load. After pressing load, you will see that aluminum does already exist in the project. You want to, yes, okay, close. Here we have aluminum, preview, give me the value of W, I will give it to 20, the description, width, okay, length 20 also, the description is length, the T will be 1, the description will be thickness. Okay, here we have the object. Okay, you see it's a different color, I think, because aluminum have different colors in pack. Okay, no problem. Material, we see aluminum. Okay, when I go to solid, I can see this is the solid one. When I go to name, this is the aluminum one. Okay, I can press Control as we see as a shortcut and rotate. Maybe I want to rotate. Okay, we can rotate by here using this. Okay, or right click, press rotate, or directly press Control to choose. Space will go to reset view. Okay, that's good. Here we create a box shape. We can create a sphere like this. Escape, the name, the orientation, the segment. Maybe I have 3 segments. The center radius will be 2. The top radius will be 3. The bottom radius will be 1. Let me choose to vacuum. Preview. The radius is the top radius is larger than the center radius, please check. Okay, this is 3 and this is 2. Preview. I don't see it. Okay, it's here. Let me put it as 10. Preview. Okay, that's it. And here 5. So let me put it as 100. Okay, that's it. 2. Let me press OK. Okay, because I changed the segment, so it's not a sphere. Okay. This is a kind of object I create. Okay, with 3 segments. I have a cone, so I can create a cone with bottom radius, which is 2, and top radius is 5. Here it's large, so let me put it 20 and 50 to see it. X center. For the Z I will put T, and the material will be vacuum. The solid, it's 3, it's not a big problem. So let me press view. Okay, 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 view. So if I want to see it, let me zoom in, so I can press this zoom mode and choose as a rectangular to zoom on the shape. Okay, let me press 3, and you see this is because I choose this values, the cone is like that, but I can change it to maybe here to 10, and you see preview. Okay, now the cone will be appear more. Look to it, it's like a dish antenna. Okay, let me change it to be better than this. Let me put it as 100 or 200. Okay, this will be more realistic. Anyway, this is the cone. If you look to it only, you can see it. The bottom is like that and the top is like that. Okay, we have torus. I can create torus like this to large radius and the small radius. We can change the material and the component, and or press help to see how to create it. Okay, and finally we have here, let me press this arrow. We have cylindrical shape or elliptical cylinder. So we have 2. Okay, for cylinder, maybe I want to create cylinder with outer radius 10, and let me see, it's 100. Preview. Let me choose this. Let me put it as 100 also. Preview. Okay, that's it.